What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. This is the Stew. We got MJ. My name's AJ. This is the Straight Gassin podcast.
Oh yeah, we back and
we're looking for guests. We're recruiting guests. I try to hit up some guests. Hopefully, there's some in the works. We want to do some food stuff. We want to do some entrepreneurial stuff. We want to do some artistic stuff. So, hit us up if you want to be a guest. Shout out Khan, our first guest and only guest ever, other than John.
Yeah, that's right. And if you are going to be a guest, we're a little bit more strict this time around. AJ and I have already gotten tested and have tested negative. I don't want to say it on the show, but you all know what I'm talking about. So all of our future guests, we would love to have you, and we would love for you to drop some knowledge on us. But man, just slide through. Just get tested first, you know.
Be safe, though.
Be safe, because I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
Because we want you here. You know, this AJ studio is beautiful. You got it all set up. We got the tan background.
We got the DJ lights in the back just for added extraness.
Exactly.
Hopefully it's not too distracting.
No, it's fine. I like it.
As long as you test positive for HIV, you're good. But the other thing, it's not. So
the other thing's a respiratory thing. But
yes, sir.
I don't want to get into details. I think we know. But I think everybody knows by now. If you don't know details of everything going on right now, it's not even living under a rock. Because
it's pretty much like you already know what's going on in the world. We're not trying to get demonetized, and we're gonna look back at this period in life and be like, damn, bro, like this is wild.
Yeah. So, well, I guess first of all, thanks for having the Straight Gassin podcast. Yeah, thanks for having the Straight Gassin podcast come here into your studio, man. I mean, obviously
it's almost like, man, I want to take a picture with everyone, so we're gonna take a picture after this. Yep. I want to do a Polaroid on the wall of every guest, not even podcast, just guest of the studio, and it's gonna be dope, man. Thanks for coming through. Think of it as your studio too, if ever you want to use it. Don't even feel bad or anything, bro. Just hit me up. Just put on the foot protectors though, just so you don't get the seamless dirty. You know what I'm saying?
So also, this is just jumping forward a little bit, just since it's been a while from our last episode, which was, I can't even remember our last episode, what month that was this year, but little life updates. I think that's what we're going to do on this one. We're going to keep this one nice, short, and simple. Life updates, starting small. I'm wearing white socks. I've been wearing black socks for the past my whole life. So
the gold toe black socks, that's MJ's signature, if you know MJ.
Yeah, but then slowly but surely I'm transitioning to the white socks fitted on top.
Feeling like a rookie.
Exactly. Thank you for getting that Dom Kennedy reference.
But I'm not. What is it? Rookie in the game, but I'm feeling like I'm not.
Yeah, it's hard work.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a shout out Music Bed. Sponsor us.
Oh yeah, Music Bed. I had to cancel my subscription.
Did you really?
Yeah, because I had Epidemic Sound.
Damn, the pandemic sound, bro.
Pandemic sound, man. Yeah, they finally fixed the way you navigate through and whatnot. But other than that, I don't want to say any brand names anymore unless they run us a check. What's new with you, AJ?
Just been chilling, man. We're in the new studio, so for those who don't know, I run, my main channel is like a fashion channel that I'm really trying to invest time in and take seriously. But I'm also using this studio as like a DJ studio and also my day job office. So like I do, I work in the fashion industry for my 9 to 5. So I do that here. I do YouTube videos for fashion after work, after my 9 to 5 in here in the studio. And I do some DJ stuff here too. So I really just, you got to make money or spend money to make money, right? So just wanted to invest in myself, and I'm super excited to just keep things going, and I'm excited, man. Give me 1 sec. I feel like my laptop's gonna fall. It looks like it's gonna fall.
Which one? Your laptop?
The pink one. It's literally off the table.
Dude, 10% of your laptop, the corner of your laptop is off the table.
I'm scared.
So 90% of the weight is actually on the table.
I know, but hold up,
bro. Do you honestly think that's gonna bro? All right, well, for the viewers at home, when I edit this, I'm actually going to take a photo of how the laptop was positioned on the desk, because it was nowhere near falling.
It wasn't going to fall off, but, I'm superstitious with it, bro. The Filipino superstition got into me. Like how they put the grapes on next to the house, you know what I'm saying? And the shrooms, I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Dang, man.
You good?
Yeah, everything's all good. But yeah, so I mean, with this whole studio setup and whatnot, like, how does this process go? Because did you just go like on Craigslist, or how did you find this office in the first place?
Yeah, so this is actually a co-working space, and I did a lot of research, but this is like a corporate building, and I have my own office. So there's like suites, which are basically like this is a whole suite, and I have an office in the suite, and this is owned by like a kind of like a business incubation corporation, and they invest more so in like tech entrepreneurs, but they have like open offices if you want to rent it, and there's a co-working space outside the office. But it was a really good deal. We have a lot of square footage in here for what it is, and it's relative, like price relative to space makes a lot of sense. Like, we feel pretty comfortable. Like, there's a lot of room to move. We got the whole seamless up. We got different color seamlesses. You can't even see it. You see the chain where we, damn bro, see, I don't trust MJ with the electronic devices on the edge, bro.
That's true.
Push me to the edge. All my iPhones are, yeah.
So how does it even work? So let's say you're on like Craigslist or whatever, or on like Facebook Marketplace, and you see like an office for rent. Do you just like message them, and then do you have to go until? Is it like an in-person meeting that you had? Like who is it that you meet in person? Is it the manager of this building?
Yeah. So in this specifically for this building, I met with not the property manager, but I would say the management of the building itself, like the business manager, who handles like all the bookings here and things like that, and any tech issues and things like that. Like the landlord, it's themselves like are a different entity, I think in like a different state or a different county. They have 2 offices. This is like a satellite office for them.
Mm-hmm.
So they just like try to supplement their income by renting out some offices. And excuse me, we had a lot of dinner, so I had some sodium in there. I had a burp. I held it in. But to go back to your point on it, the whole process starts off with just kind of like visiting. So the business manager that handles all the bookings, like I said, we scheduled a tour, and then I toured this spot. I did a whole floor plan before I even went in, and then I filled that floor plan out once I really was interested in booking and getting serious about it.
You had to show your floor plan to the person?
No, I just wanted to see. I like did all the measurements to make sure everything was to my liking, and then they requested that, if you like it, please let us know. It's like they didn't really ask too many questions. They kind of just asked for like your business, not your business license if you're a freelancer, but some business liability insurance. And business insurance and just general liability insurance. So I pay for that monthly on top of the rent for this place. And they just chopped it up on like, oh yeah, what do you do and things like that. So it's a little different because my side hustles aren't necessarily my full-time job. I just add it on top of my current taxes. So, but say if I was like a full-time DJ or a full-time content creator, then I would have to treat it as a business. And I could even being a freelancer, I could technically get my nameplate on this corporate building if I wanted to, but it's kind of weird. I kind of like the anonymity of it. I don't know if that's a word, like being anonymous.
Yeah, the anonymity. It's a word. Yeah. I mean. But I'm curious on like why the heck does it matter? Do you have to be a business to rent out one of these things? Because I remember when we were like both looking for a spot to rent out one time, and it was like a warehouse out in Santa Clara. The lady was like hella coming at me sideways, like what kind of business we had, and like the income that we're taking in per month and whatnot, and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, does it really matter? Like, what if you were just like, nah, I just need like an office to like
I think it's a little different. 1, because of the circumstance we're in the world. 2, this is a great rate. 3, like everyone in this building is either like a attorney or like a lawyer or like
an accountant, right?
Yeah, like super duper professional. Not saying I'm not professional, but like we're probably the most like, I don't know, urban or like hood people, like millennial people in this building. And I didn't have to report anything to them. I just had to have business and general liability insurance just in case someone gets injured here. I'm not liable for them to like when they sue me. Like I don't pay for any of that.
So it's not the same as renter's insurance?
No, because renter's insurance, like say we have all this equipment in here, all the cameras, all these like clothing and shoes and light boxes. that would be a part of renter's insurance, which I would have to get independently from like Allstate or something, because that would cover like my MacBook Pro, my sneakers, our cameras, everything else. So that's insurance on itself. But to remedy that, I hope no one's listening to this that would want to steal it stuff, but I take everything home. So if you're here, you're just going to steal this clothing rack, and that's basically it. And there's a lot of security here. Like, there's more than 3 points of entry that you have to actually go through to actually get into this building, unless you're doing some James Bond espionage stuff.
Yeah, like some type of like Ocean's 11 stuff, right? So have you, I don't know how this turned into like me like being interviewing you, but I'm actually genuinely curious on, you know, just with this whole setup you have here. Have you noticed any kind of like mindset or mental shift when you got this place? So for example, like I feel like if you gain another financial responsibility, obviously you feel that, you know, I wouldn't say necessarily pressure, but that responsibility where like you gotta put in work to really justify the purchase.
Yeah, so like I'm gonna be honest with everyone, like I pay money here and I primarily do YouTube videos here, and I get paid zero money from YouTube. But the mindset change is that I know that I want to take YouTube very seriously. I already take DJing and my day job obviously very seriously, and all my DJ gigs are basically postponed to next year. So my mentality is that I did all the math for this, and if I'm paying, let's say there's on average 30 days in a month, and I did the math, so $25 a day is the rent calculated for this place. So as long as whether it be my day job, DJing, or even if I make YouTube monetization in the future, as long as I make over $30 or $25 in an hour, then I already paid for the rent for the day, right? So you got to take it kind of day by day. And to answer your question about how it helps productivity, this is also a great place where the amenities are 24 hours, and there's AC, basically free Wi-Fi, everything else. So I just moved in. It was lock turn, key turn, ready. And I just had to get, like I said earlier, the business insurance. And my mindset's changed because say if I'm like at the club when clubs are open or things like that, or at a function and I feel inspired to make a video or create, I could just go to this place and really just kind of lock in and make content that I want to make.
That actually makes sense, because like say you go out with the homie and then you're like, dude, I guess let's just say something happened that really inspired you, or like it really made your thought process kind of like flow, and you had a video idea. You could really put that into action like real time, and like the idea is very fresh. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I think we're both similar in that we have type A personalities, but that type A is in regard to our will and our self-belief. So like I'm super passionate and genuinely interested in everything that I do, and I think we both feel like we're gonna kill it in whatever we do because we're very passionate about whatever we do, and we're not gonna do it just to do it. So like you said, man, like even if I'm out with friends and we're drinking and stuff like that, and I'm like, man, I get inspired and I see a fit, or I want to make a certain video, or I'm wearing a fit, or I see someone's fit, I'm like, yo, you want to record right quick? And hopefully, you know, my intent. What's really cool about this place too, just on a side note, is that it's very flexible, the terms. So
it's month to month?
Yeah.
What?
So usually the terms are you have to sign a 12-month lease.
Where did you find a month-to-month office in
we could talk offline.
This is Silicon Valley,
we'll
bro.
talk offline about that, but you know, I converted this whole office space into a basically video studio, DJ studio, everything else. We got the seamless, we got the DIY, you know, studio going on here. But to go back to that, man, like I just feel that when you have such a personality and like kind of drive to create and authentically, like unapologetically follow your passions and interests, then you have to get your own space and things like that. I can't just do it in my bedroom or at my parents' house, or, you know, I need a space for myself and a space for me to really create and thrive and fulfill the vision that I see.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I feel like one thing I noticed is you don't have a TV in here. And for me, is like, I only watch YouTube on my TV, on my smart TV. So I feel like if I just remove my TV out of my room, I'd be able to be more productive because I like watching YouTube videos.
Yeah, I thought about getting a TV here too. And what's cool about this seamless system is that it rolls all the way up. So we do have this wall here. I thought about getting a projector, but in all seriousness, or I just like kind of more professional wise, I just don't want a TV here because I don't want it to really distract me from what my intent is here. And I guess it helps a little bit monetarily that like I'm paying, for this instead of like I could be paying other stuff. I could be, buying, I don't know, stuff to review, or I could be doing other things with my money. But this is more an investment for my future and an investment that I'm really excited to utilize and share with you and everyone else.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, I'm liking it so far. I mean, on paper, when you really calculate square footage and whatnot, and obviously, you multiply the width times the length and whatnot, you don't think it's that big. But when you're actually in here, like, dang, this is actually, you can get, I mean, shoot, you have a wall-mounted seamless paper right over here. Like, doesn't this look great? I'm looking at the camera monitor over here, and it turned out really good.
We got the clothing rack here. For people that can't really see and are just listening, we have carpet. So this is basically, think of like a cubicle office where you just have carpet and like 4 white walls and like glass panes. So when we set up the seamless is going to rip if you don't have a hard floor. So what we did was we bought plexiglass and we just taped it to the floor and it's permanently here. I don't know if you could hear that.
Oh yeah.
So that way the seamless doesn't rip. Mm-hmm. So we just thought of crafty ways to make the best out of the space because it was such a great deal, such great amenities. Mm-hmm. We have a roller desk too, so the office is super flexible just in case we want to do different things and not just shoot YouTube videos, not just take photos, not just do podcasts and things like that. So we wanted to share the whole work in progress. We got a bunch of DJ par lights that are just doing whatever they want to do. God knows what in the back. They're just doing their thing.
I know.
We usually use that for just video setups on the white or gray seamless to manipulate the color. But yeah, man, I'm excited for new content. I just recently got this office, so this is the first month. Took a while to get all the seamless up and get the clothing rack and everything else ready. We got the light boxes for the close-up product shots. But like I said, man, I'm just super excited to be here by myself, but also just have other people here. Like, granted, it is a little loud. We're next to a main street. Sometimes there's a lot of construction, but like I said, I am more than over the moon to just have friends, family, and other content creators here with me. Shout out Sean, Kyle, and Jesse. We're gonna be shooting here next Friday. So MJ, if you want to slide through whenever you're free, let's get it.
Are those the homies or something?
That's the homie. It's my.
Is that 2 different people, or is that the first and last name?
Sean Kyle is my coworker Jesse's boyfriend, who's also a content creator on YouTube.
Oh, okay, because I thought it was 2 different people.
We should actually
Sean and
him on the pod.
Yeah, so Sean and Kyle.
No, that's his. He has 2 first names, like a Filipino, like
okay.
Michael June.
Okay,
yeah, Sean. Kyle.
How weird how I like that perspective.
It's all good,
bro. Right?
Al John.
Yeah. So I mean, it's November right now, and it's like. I think back in March, everybody kind of thought that by November, like all this madness would be kind of over and done with, right? And like our amazing leaders in the in the federal office, we thought there would be a solution by now. But I mean, obviously, as of right now, while the time is being recorded, like actually cases in our state alone has freaking spiked, and it's going over maybe record numbers, right?
Yeah.
But so far, I mean, after all of this entire year that has gone by so slow, is there anything valuable that maybe you have learned, either internally or maybe externally about other things?
Yeah. So to answer that question, man, I want to get your thoughts on this too.
Mm-hmm.
I think this time has made a lot of people's anxiety higher, a lot of people's loneliness higher, and a lot of people's reality more clear, that things are temporary. Life is temporary. Everything we do in life is not forever, as much as you think it may be forever. And, it makes me wake up with cold sweats sometimes in the morning, man. Like, I fear death 10 times as much as I do on the regular. And it fuels my anxiety, and it makes me just want to thrive to be better every single day. And that's one of the reasons why I got this studio and why I want to just wholeheartedly follow my passions and do what I want to do, regardless of what, some people that don't matter to me think, and so even what some people that matter to me think. So just be clear-minded and follow your vision and focus. So how about you, man?
Dude, mine is just like, just do what you want to do to make you happy. Even a lot of people think, of course we live in Silicon Valley, and arguably this area in the entire United States is like, there's such a grind culture out here, right? And like maybe by definition, with the kind of work that you and I do, maybe we would by definition be a solopreneur or an entrepreneur. But what I realized this year is like, whatever, man. Even if I was, that doesn't make me cool. And at the end of the day, I think I've come to a self-realization where it's like, this ain't the life for me. I want a simple life. I think I showed you at the beginning of this year. Did I ever show you my vision board for this year?
I think was it on your computer?
It was on my computer.
Do I have anything in my teeth?
No.
All right.
Are you making fun of me because I asked you that earlier?
No, I was just licking myself.
Oh, okay.
Michael June got his braces off. Anyways, yeah. So going back to to MJ's vision board.
Yeah, on my vision board, man. The standard vision board is a lot of people have like, in most cases, you kind of have like the things that you want to buy. Let's just say like, like maybe like a single family home and like certain cars. For me, I actually had one car. I wanted to get an SUV, a Toyota, not even like a luxury car. And then the remainder of the 90% of my vision board was was places like national parks. So my vision board is a little bit unorthodox, and I think that really falls in line with like kind of like what I want to do in life. I kind of been following this phrase that you've said to me a few months ago, kind of like just simplifying your life. And I think that's just so important because everybody wants to have like, everybody wants to like, be on their grind and whatnot and like have such a complex life, and people love they love bragging of the fact that they're so busy and they don't have time to do stuff. It's like, why?
Yeah, and going back to that, man, like MJ and I have these conversations, these serious conversations on the regular. That's just our nature. But we're such silly people and we love to have fun with things. We can't not make things funny. Life is too short to just take everything too serious because we're not emotionally woke or like professionally woke or emotionally trying to make everyone get to like a certain level of mindfulness or like what's that called, positivity that's negative, like negative positivity where it's almost forced positivity.
I think Twitter has started defining that as positive toxicity.
Yeah, so it's like positivity but that doesn't seem genuine. Like this is genuinely the conversations we have.
Toxic positivity,
yeah. So but we genuinely are optimistic about things and we are real when things aren't good and things that are bad happen. But like I said earlier, man, MJ and I had this conversation a while ago. I remember where it was and what we were talking about before that, which is the complete opposite. And we're just like, man, I told him like, honestly, I just want to simplify my life. And, I have a lot of goals in the future that I want to see come to fruition.
Yep.
And, I'm just super glad that MJ and I are just back on this. We want to be more consistent with it. There's no excuse now that we have this studio and super excited to just share more content with the world and, pick everyone's brain and grow as a person, man. And that may sound disingenuous to some people watching this or even listening to it, but wholeheartedly, this is what we believe,
Yeah, no, I was just laughing while you were talking, not because of what you're saying. It's because I just realized these par lights in the background are like blasting up our ass. they're right underneath us. I didn't realize the placement, but like it's literally like, do you see them?
I mean, it's not like it's going through our buttholes, but now I see it because it's like right under us.
Yeah. No, I didn't even realize that.
It was your idea, bro.
I wanted to
switch it up.
I wanted a little pizzazz,
some dimension. We could just put a one color. Should we just put on? What do you think, amber?
Amber? Yeah, sure.
Let's do amber. There we go.
Oh, that looks kind of good.
Yeah, that
kind of matches the back.
Jeez.
But
they had to wait 15 minutes into the podcast to not.
Dude, I know. But yeah, just going off of what you're saying, it's like, you know what? I feel like it's you shouldn't chase paper for the wrong reasons is what I'm saying. We're not saying that like money is not important.
Yeah.
You need it, man. That's just the system that we live in. You need money to buy things, but the thing is like, for example, like if you Like, for example, like if you buy something expensive, like I told you, I told you I like these certain kicks, right? Like the Mocha Jordan ones that I liked, and you had them, but just because you own them, like it's not doesn't mean I like you more, right? You know what I mean? Like,
and like it's not like I bought them to be like, hey, look, MJ, like, look, I'm cool now, right? Like I got these.
like you respect me.
Like no, like dude, I honestly, I'm trying to post less about my YouTube life on Instagram. I'm trying to make it more ambiguous to be like, okay, like I don't really know what he's doing, because I really am like learning to acknowledge the game that's being played on social media, and to have it not affect me, but also have a strong presence. You know, you have to kind of play the game with social media and post kind of consistent content that's quality, but also I want it to be real. You know, I want to archive some real videos that I have, and like talking head videos of like stuff like this and things. Like I'll even probably take some of these excerpts out and put it.
The what?
Excerpts.
Excerpts.
Sounds like a Slurpee. Excerpt.
That sounds like a really fancy like egg breakfast that you buy from like Egg Slut in Vegas.
Egg slurps. Ew. Oh, come on.
No, have you ever been there in Vegas?
They have one. Yeah, I've been to one in Vegas. I've been to the one in LA too.
Yep.
In downtown LA.
You mess with Egg Slut?
Hey, that shit fire.
Bro,
I cursed. My bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but no, yeah, I really enjoy that stuff.
Yeah, but wait, what are we talking about?
We were talking about how like your YouTube content and how you're making it ambiguous. So it almost seems like your Instagram is not funneling to your YouTube and vice versa as well. So they're kind of two separate like interests that you have, and I guess two separate. I don't know. I mean, because you would know.
I realized that the effort I put into putting a minute promotion for my YouTube channel or for my YouTube channel on Instagram only gets me like 25 to 30 views on mine, and it's people that already have love for me, you know? Like I love you guys back, but I want to grow my YouTube channel organically. It's like if I had a DJ gig and I only had my homies there. It's like, okay, cool, like you could play for your homies really well, but can you test yourself and do people's weddings or do people's events? It's like that's when you get to a certain level of where you feel like you belong, and I want to get to that certain level where I feel like I belong in, you know, the YouTube space. Not saying I don't. I'm confident in my ability and things like that, but even DJing, you know, like not saying everyone, whether it be a solo entrepreneur, whether you're a barber or a DJ or a content creator, you don't fake it till you make it. You're just confident, right? But I've never really felt like I belong. I'm always hungry and trying to get better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I don't think it's not an easy thing. A lot of people think like, for example, oh my gosh, I almost fell in this chair.
Man, we gotta get some new chairs for the stew.
Yeah, well, good thing you have the liability, man. If I get hurt in this studio, man, hey, I'm doing
sue me, bro.
I'm doing claims.
Hey, you don't even have liability insurance, bro.
Doesn't cover me. It doesn't cover
your camera.
It doesn't cover guests. Oh,
nah, it covers everyone.
Okay, yeah. So
shout out Noel. Nah.
What? Is he like your litigator?
No, we'll cut that out.
Okay, that was so random. No, I was just saying that, like, you know, like it's really cool what you do, because I watch it sometimes, even though I don't give you feedback. Like, I'll legit watch your stuff, and I'm like, man, this is some cool stuff, and it seems like you really enjoy doing it. A lot of people think this YouTube stuff is easy, man. It's not. It's a really hard thing to do, especially if you're trying to create original content with your original voice, with your own voice. And take it from me, like, as a professional video producer, with the client work I do, I edit over 8 hours of final edited video per week for some of my clients. 8 hours for a retainer client, but it's still like, I would equate that work to the amount of a YouTuber, because the thing is, with client work, I know exactly what the goal is and what voice I have to edit in. So, because a lot of people think, there's a lot of goofy ass people out there, right? They're so funny.
Yeah.
Is this microaggression? Is that a microaggression saying
it's
that?
All good, bro.
So there's some goofy.
This is a positive negativity.
Okay, so this is what. Just hold on. You'll see what I'm getting to. There's some.
Dude, your hat matches the freaking seamless and the par lights.
It's the underbill.
Shout out Tito's.
Yep. So there's some goofy ass people out there, for example, right? And then and pretty much like, I feel like a lot of people who are hella funny and hella out there, and like they'll be like, oh, I hear people say things like, oh my gosh, like I would kill it as a YouTuber, you know what I mean? Like if I was a vlogger, I'd be so funny, like I'd be one of the funniest people out there. That is literally like, I want to say like maybe 35% of it, because the other what 65% of it is like video production and filmmaking. It's a lot of freaking work.
Yeah, like for everyone that doesn't make YouTube content, I have so much respect for what MJ does, because he does it so professionally, whether it be, you know, just the production of the pre-production, you know, execution and post-production. And, you know, I try to use some of, you know, what I see, the work ethic in him, and obviously try to learn on my own so I could utilize that in my own content. But I realized that there's levels to it, you know, like I'm not doing cinematic videos like freaking MJ. I'm just reviewing some hyped ass shoes or some clothing, or, you know, we want to do different videos. But I just have so much respect for what he does, man, because it's such an exceptional, you know, he does what he does at such an exceptional level that I look up to it as a YouTube creator, even though I'm not making the same kind of content. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
It takes a lot of work, man, to do the YouTube stuff. And I would say I'm going in blind every single time. Like, okay, if I post something designer or off-white, then, or like the hypest shoes, I know it's going to get over 1,000 views. And that's low level. I'm not getting monetized yet. But if I have to shoot something with conviction, I have to talk with conviction, I have to research, be aware of what I'm reviewing, and also convey it, whether it be size, you know, recommendation, or price. Like, who is this for? And I need to be as unbiased as possible. So that's my goal whenever I look into things. And for you, that's awesome too. So how do you kind of like approach that when you have clients that are, I guess, difficult, or even say let you do your own thing? Like, how do you approach that?
Well, the thing is, for me, I feel like the reason why I have gone this deep into my career and have been able to sustain it for this long is because I think the number one mistake when you want to go freelance is a lot of these freelance videographers, they focus way too much on the art. It's like got to make everything art, you know. They spend too much time color grading, you know. They spend too much time lighting, or they want to shoot an S-Log2, the flat profile, right? And it's like, cool, but you know, at the end of the day, your client does not care about any of that stuff at all. So I think what has helped me stay sustainable as full-time freelancer is I focus more on the service of the providing of the service. Lately, with a lot of the projects that I've been just doing no picture profiles, completely off, all natural, like straight out of camera. And like when you send the client like a sample, like obviously, you know, the straight out of camera out of like a lot of these Sonys or Canons, it looks very vibrant and very contrasty, right? And they're like, oh, this looks great.
You can tell when it's color graded.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, so like what I'm saying is just like what I do is, I just focus on the service and try to be objective as possible. It's never, it's always about like what the client wants, because obviously they're the one that's paying you, and it's because here's the thing. For example, sometimes the client would be like, you know, I don't really like the music, right? So you kind of gotta guide them into making the right choice for them, and kind of being the professional recommender, right? So it's kind of like, cool, I'd be more than happy to change the music for you. Yeah. But please feel free to let me know what you don't like about this, and what genre do you like, and can you tell me send me some samples of songs.
That's the life as a freelancer, though, because when push comes to shove, you're the expert and you're hired for a reason, but they are the boss. They're the one that's cutting the check, and you want to make them happy. So even though you could give your opinion in the most respectful way, but if you don't like respect their opinion, then you're not going to get the check or repeat customers, you know. It's almost like if I were to DJ a wedding and they're like, we want these specific songs for this playlist, and I'm like, no, I don't want to play that. You're not accommodating to the customer.
No, exactly. That's why I say like that the problem is like sometimes I think there's videographers or even photographers where they focus so much on the art, where like, no, this doesn't align with my vision, you know what I mean? Yeah. For me, I just know how to like just swallow that pride or that art, quote unquote, artistic side, and like, okay, if that's what you want, that's what you want.
It's a little more difficult for like cinematography or video, because you could always watch it. Like if I do a set at a club, no one's ever gonna be like, AJ's set at Labyrinth in July 2019 was like not artistic enough. You know, I didn't get faded enough to that. There wasn't enough Hennessy bottles being poured at that moment. It's like just kind of you just gotta go through it and do the best you can with what the client wants.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But that's why I say like it's important to kind of guide the client into going into an objective point of view, because if they tell you like, hey AJ, your set sucked, it's like that doesn't do you any good. It's like, tell me what you didn't like about it. Is it a song that I played that you didn't like? I'm more than happy to take that song out to the next set,
Well, I mean, there's always going to be, whether it be DJing or a creative craft like cinematography and video, there's always going to be haters. And like when I'm DJing, I could always tell there's someone that's like not into it, or like, man,
haters in the building.
Yeah, but I feel like people like that aren't problem solvers. They're more focused on like negativity and not trying to solve a problem. When the root of kind of the problem itself is being solved, right?
Right.
What time is it right now, dude?
It's freaking 6:49 right now. But yeah, I mean, no, I definitely agree. Any other updates that happened this year for you, man? Like, I guess, okay, how about this? What is the most memorable positive thing that has happened to you this year?
I think the most memorable thing is just kind of being alone with myself, because I was a professional at this quarantine thing before things even happened, right? Before shelter in place happened, and I live an inherently lonely life just because of how I was raised and my personal values and things like that. And it's not a habit that I can't break. It's just I'm just being honest with everyone, right? Like I live a very lonely life, so it's easy for me to talk to a camera. It's easy for me to talk to someone and small talk with them, because it doesn't really like have as much emotional depth. But when it comes to that, I have to get better at showing emotion and being real and communicative with not only my loved ones, my friends, and my family, but also just professionally and in the future. So there's just a lot of life lessons that I learned, and not being scared and like not taking things for granted. So the studio is kind of like a symbolic step for that. And I'm just trying to I'm okay with being alone, right? And it's made me think even more, like if I lived this way when it wasn't even mandatory, then imagine how like morose and lonely I feel right now. So it just helps me put things into perspective and be super grateful for everything that I have, but also understand when things are normal again. Helps me stay super motivated and think about this time, this pivotal moment, and this will be in history books, right? Or history ebooks. I don't know if they're gonna have books in the future.
It can be history holograms.
Yep. In the future, where I was like, wow, in that moment, I was lonelier than I've ever felt in my entire life. So, how about you, man?
What was the question?
You asked, how did this year shape you, and like, what is the most memorable moment you will take from this year?
I would say the most memorable moment of this year is probably dang, you know what? I didn't think you were gonna flip this question on me.
Man, what the hell?
Yeah.
Damn, we're just gonna be like, okay, we're gonna wrap up the pod now.
All right, forget what MJ thinks.
That's it.
Yep.
No, I want to hear what you think, bro.
I think right now it's just has to do something with work, where I felt like, this time last year or even 2 years ago, I was like, I had a mindset where like, man, I would kill to be able to freelance full time and whatnot. And right now I'm actually on the verge of like burnout, dude. Like I'm just pretty burnt out right now. And lately, the past few months, I've been like even rejecting clients because I'm like, dude, I can't do it. It's just way too much work. So now that I got what I wished for, right? I kind of learned where like, you know what, this ain't the life for me, man. Like I went the freelance life and it was fun, and like the grind is so cool to do. I mean, of course, when you're starting out, like as a sole proprietor, or like, you know, making money and getting clients on your own, there's like a sense of pride in it, right? You're like, yeah, man, I hella did that on my own because these people value me. But then after a while, I come to realize, yeah, I just want a simple life. Like I want to wake up sleeping in my car in Yosemite and have coffee. You know, like I'd be down to, like, I think honestly I would be down to make a little bit less money and have a more simplified life, and just have more time to spend with people like you and like family and whatnot.
No, and I agree with that, man, because this is kind of some insider info, but during this pandemic, I thought about, you know, I would never, I love the company that I work at for my 9 to 5. I just kind of looked at like the possibility of moving back to New York, of moving to LA. And they're like, I'm like confident in my resume, and I feel like other companies would feel that they'd be impressed with it, and, you know, just kind of if I should test the water and stuff like that. But the more deep I got into some of these processes, I'm like, I really don't know if I would want to move from the Bay Area, and I just invested time in the studio instead. And that way it kind of made me focus on what really mattered, like family, friends, and spending time, especially when things are so uncertain, you know. But like, I'm glad we're more prepared for the future. Mm-hmm. But it helped me stay grounded on what really matters, and simplified life, like we keep saying, is the main theme of this. Yeah.
Our generation's mindset is so much different, because I feel like the last generation, like even like the boomer generation, you hear stories all the time where like, oh, I've been at Intel for 50 years, you know. I don't think we're long-term employment type generation, like our generation.
I think it depends on the company culture. I'm blessed to be able to work with people that I love working with on a daily basis. Shout out to everyone there. And it makes every day, you know, I love what I do because I work in men's fashion, so it's something that I studied. And granted, it's not like a luxury fashion house, but I love the people that I work with, love the job, love the company culture. And I could gladly say that I've turned down like 6-figure salaries just to stay at my job and DJ and cash flow my DJ equipment through just DJing itself, instead of like kind of selling myself to like a company that I'm like, I don't really like this, but it pays a lot, right? It's like, never doubt yourself because you're not able to do so. Maybe, I guess, if you have different goals, if your goal is to just make as much money as you can, mm-hmm. by all means, like maybe I'll sell myself to whatever company. But also, like, it's easy for us to say because we don't have any real responsibility. Like, I'm a single guy in the Bay Area who doesn't have, you know, any responsibility, and I live with my parents. It's not the fact that you can't get your own apartment, you can't do this or do that, or, you know, like, I still have bills that I pay, but I'm just being realistic with myself, and I'm more than happy and grateful to my parents for what they do and how much love and support they got for me. And I only want to reciprocate it by, you know, I want to pay off their house, but I just want to make sure it makes sense. It makes sense for everyone, because if they just move and I'm just here, I'm like, oh, okay, like,
yep.
So that's a long-term goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, everybody listening, including myself, learn from AJ. I think for everything he just said right there, it proves that you got to stop spending money on dumb stuff, man. Stop spending money on things you don't need. Okay, yeah, you know what? That's a bad example. You're
no, it's for the YouTube.
Yeah,
we write this off.
That's a tax write-off.
No, it's not.
Anybody that's listening on any of the streaming and not on the YouTube, AJ just showed off some off-white Nikes that he has on his feet. But anyways, the point that I'm trying to get is you got to stop spending money to try to impress other people that don't care. People don't care. Okay, like stop spending money on expensive items because you want to show off to the people you used to talk to that you quote unquote glowed up. You did not glow up. Nobody glows up. Okay, you're just moving forward in life. That's just what life is. You progress. So stop trying to
investing in yourself isn't showing your Mercedes Benz that you spent 20% down on, and you have a 4-digit payment every month, right?
Like, there's people who have that? Yeah. A 4-figure payment?
If they're getting like a Lexus or like a Mercedes, and a certain kind, right? And granted, they probably make a lot of money, but if you spend a lot of money too, then it's not really that good. But for me, like getting the studio too, instead of me like, I don't know, renting an apartment or doing something else, I'd rather get something like this. Not saying, I don't think it would make sense for me to just get an apartment just to get one. Like, like how much investment that is, that 4 kind of digit investment, whether it be like a car. Some people would spend a lot of money, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know if I told you this last week when we were or the last time we were hanging out, but somebody was showing me their $80,000 wedding ring, and man, that rock was fat, and the ring was, I want to say, platinum, which is insane. As you can imagine how nice that ring was for 80 grand, right? So I looked at it and she was showing it to me and I was like, wow, that is the most gorgeous ring I've ever seen in person before. 4 seconds later, I didn't care anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like they had that 4 seconds of glory where I was just like in awe of this nice piece of jewelry, and then that's it.
That's why a lot of the things, like as much as I love fashion, I understand that it's fleeting for a lot of people. For me, it's not as fleeting because I truly archive and collect a lot of fashion pieces, but for 95% of the people that are buying luxury goods or like fashion or like kind of expensive cars out of their means or living well above their means, it's really kind of like a combination of insecurity. Not saying we all have insecurities, right? And we all kind of cope with them certain ways, but like you could tell when someone's trying to be the loudest in the room through their material possessions. And also it is extremely fleeting. Like, do you think I don't buy Off-White shoes just to be like, oh yeah, like they're Off-White, or like Saint Laurent, just to be like, yeah, I got it like that. Like, no, dude, like I'm not telling you how to spend your disposable income. You're not telling me how to spend it, right? Yeah. Let's live our lives.
It's my insecurity. So like, I feel like there's a lot of people who are under the impression that like I'm super like outdoorsy, and I love the outdoors. I love the idea of the wilderness and whatnot. And if you look at my closet, I have so much outdoor gear. Like, bro, you know how many times I go outdoors, like actual legit hiking, twice a year.
Hey man, it's all good.
Bro. It's hella fun. No, it's just hella funny to me. Like,
bro,
how
much In-N-Out gear I have, and how much times I eat In-N-Out. I don't. No, I'm just kidding.
To this day.
Yeah, man.
Anyways, that's my goal. I don't know if we're talking about short-term goals, but I'm trying to go hiking, y'all.
Hey, hit up MJ. I'll go hiking too. I'm down.
Hit me up, man. You gotta hike in the Off-White.
Nah, hell nah, bro. We're gonna keep the shoe cozies on for the hike. This is so the seamless doesn't get dirty.
Oh, that's a good thumbnail right there.
But the seamless is already dirty though.
Oh yeah.
I just stepped on it.
Dang. Well, you know what? I think we're at the end of our time here. So once again, thank you so much for your hospitality. I'm looking forward to doing more straight Gassin episodes in here. Yeah, man. I'm excited to have guests on here because I know like as much jokes as we have, we're just going to keep getting all serious with the people and speak some true realness. I actually have a talking headpiece coming out soon on Instagram. I want to post before the end of the year as a recap, just on resiliency, how this studio kind of, I don't know, like encompasses a lot of meaning for me and my future and my goals and my visions and my dreams. I wake up and I'm excited to create. I wake up and I'm excited to go to my 9 to 5. I wake up and I'm excited to hang out with my friends, my family, and have new experiences even amongst a global crisis. Well said. Well, we'll see you all next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. To our 7 listeners that we get, we got a lot of downloads on the last one. Or only Cons. I think Cons, we got like 800 downloads. Yo, Con has been carrying this podcast for the past. He's not even here, dude. For the past 9 months, Con has been carrying. We should just call this the Con Gassin podcast. Shout out to Con, man. Well, peace out, everyone. Late.